Tom Delonge explains why government wants to hide UFOs. August 11, 2019. The idea of something that is millions of years ahead of us could be unfathomable, says the classic guitarist of Blink-182. Tom Delonge explains why government wants to hide UFOs during an appearance on the Kevin and Bean Show. Tom Delonge spoke about aliens, explaining why the government is hiding the truth from people. You can check a part of the conversation below transcribed by UG interviewer. How did you get involved with the US government? How did you get someone to help you? Delonge: you call and say you're a general and they talk to you. Lefts: they hear a lot of citizens who have questions, but usually don't talk to them. Somehow, you were able to not only call people on the phone, but also put people on record and start publicizing things that were never available. Is this due to your absolute toughness? It really kind of was. At first, I was playing a lot of very important people with each other. It was really kind of funny. I was just making it up, like, hey, I'm talking to someone, and then I go to that guy and say, hey, I'm talking to someone. And you weren't talking to anyone? I kind of was, but it was more handshakes and hello. Lefts: basically, what really happened was, I didn't take no for an answer. You can go into the UFO topic, knock on doors and think they'll give you any information. It's national security. I spent 20 years studying this, so I knew what was going on, and I had a few different angles that you would never see on the internet. We will never see people talking about this on UFO sites. So I was saying, look, this is what is happening and I understand the national security implications of this, but I have something I can do for you and this is my plan for how to communicate with young people. Start bringing it out for the first time. I suppose you can't tell us who is the greatest authority you spoke of in the early days? I passed some Defense Department officials, and then I passed NASA, and finally connected with the general who owns the keys to all these things. It was hard to get to him. I had to really beg my case, how good it was for the country, good for the young, good for the world and how I could help. And then they finally said, "K, let's introduce you to someone," and it happened. The conversation caused a life change. Even with the science involved, you're not dealing with it from a fantasy perspective, you're dealing with it from a factual standpoint, and yet, people hear Tom Delonge and UFOs, or anyone and UFOs, and think of aluminum hats. Because what happened was when we found out what was happening after World War II, or during World War II, it scared everyone involved. And so what they did was say, you have to find out what this topic is and we need to do it in extreme secrecy, because it's really advanced. I'm just going to say that by this time everyone says Tom is crazy. What they did was that the government put agents for decades into these UFO groups and the news, making everyone think it was stupid. But it was for a good reason, because they didn't want people to understand that it was real. They didn't want people to be scared. They didn't want Congress to freak out. And finally, what it didn't do was expose what they were trying to do, which was really a crash course in understanding what it was. Do we have some kind of alien spaceship? I have no comment on this. I am being filmed. Found an alien? No, but I had some really interesting experiences. Yes. Do you believe there could be an alien in this room now? You know, there may be. I'll tell you this. I met high-ranking intelligence officials who had direct encounters. In fact, there are some really disturbing aspects to this. There is a program where there are hundreds of agents who have had contact and are trying to find out what it is all about. You are the co-founder and president of To the Stars Academy, and I think people have a vague understanding of what you have been doing in recent years. Talk for a moment about the work you are doing. It really revealed things that were unknown to the public before, and you must be very proud of it. I brought the first classified UFO videos of all time. They were delivered to me. To the Stars Academy exposed them. I assembled a team of high-ranking CIA officials. This is a kind of elite team of individuals who all have experience with the subject. They all came together because I created a vehicle that has 3 divisions: entertainment, science and aerospace. And the purpose of this is to create a vehicle for spreading the UFO phenomenon and various other things. So your goal is eventually to get this information out there? Well, we are already doing this. For the past 24 months, we have been heavily involved in the Senate briefing and various committees and Congresses. We are the ones who created the mechanism you're reading about that says the formal process of UFO reporting to the Navy. So the Navy admitted that UFOs are real. That's all of us. So we have been bringing people from various Pentagon departments to Congress for the first time in 70 years. There are some senators who knew this, So we set up the situation where everyone can be informed, and this is happening like wildfire. So what is happening slowly is that the stigma is increasing. We are beginning to realize, oh my God, this is real, and it's not just people in urban areas. Would you say that one of the main reasons the government wanted to keep it a secret and the little bits are leaking now is because it would terrify people? Yes, that would terrify people. I think it's the idea that there is something here that is potentially millions of years older than us, and could do things we can hardly imagine. And what that means is that humans may not be alone or in charge. And we are not so important. We are not. But this is also one of my big arguments for the generals I started meeting. I just said, like, we're all fighting all these belief system-based wars, but if you really attack the core issue, we can start coming together as a planet. And that's the kind of my hope with all these things. The reality is that once we realize that the universe is full of life, there are billions of galaxies for one reason. It's so weird. I remember watching a documentary where they fastened their seat belts in a Ford car, and I thought, it was a good idea. It's kind of like we see billions of galaxies, but still we are not really computing that there is life everywhere, and there is.